Yeah, no, I don't take responsibility at all.
He joined the New Jersey Air National Guard after 9/11. He served honorably overseas, and he supported President Trump. 42-year-old Capitol Hill police officer Brian Sicknick was killed this week when that manic Trump-supporting mob, whipped into a frenzy by President Trump, his allies, and their election lies, staged a domestic terror attack on the U.S. Capitol. That Trump's lies have led to bloodshed is horrific and distressing, but honestly, not much of a surprise. It feels in some ways like the natural, tragic culmination of what so many have been warning about for years. Why do you think so many people have been objecting so vigorously to his spreading of these conspiracy theories since the election? Regular viewers know that we have often discussed the threat of stochastic terrorism posed by the president, his demonization and falsehoods about groups and individuals, which, once injected into the political bloodstream, could result in someone taking a non-specific cue and acting out with no specific fingerprints, such as the evil domestic terrorists in Charlottesville who committed violence while defending a Confederate monument. They killed Heather Heyer and injured others, thugs and terrorists about whom President Trump equivocated. Or the murderous maniacs who heard the president and others spreading the conspiracy theory that George Soros, a prominent Jewish American, was funding caravans of Latin Americans coming into the U.S. to do harm. They heard that, and then they killed Jews at the Tree of Life Synagogue. They heard that, and they killed Latinos in El Paso. And Trump kept fueling those fires. Stochastic terrorism. No specific directive. Demagoguery followed by violence. Now, President Trump's fingerprints are far easier to detect today. After 2 months of lies, amplified by sycophants such as House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, who said this about President-elect Joe Biden.
Don't know if he'll be president January 20th.
Not to mention Senators Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz. Not to mention MAGA media irresponsibly boosting these deranged conspiracy theories. And then, of course, came the rally, where supporters, already angry about these lies, were whipped into a frenzy.
You'll never take back our country with weakness.
If you're gonna be the zero and not the hero, we're coming for you, and we're gonna have a good time doing it.
Today is the day American patriots start taking down names and kicking ass.
Let's have trial by combat.
That was followed by this.
The whole country hates you. I want you to go home. We hate you. Go. Let's go. Get this.
Did no one see this coming? Of course they did. Here's former Governor Rick Perry more than 5 years ago comparing Trump to the Know-Nothing movement of the 1840s, which attacked Irish and German immigrants. They hated Catholics so much, they came to Washington to destroy marble donated from the Pope to build the Washington Monument.
It is wrong. They built nothing. They created nothing. They existed to cast blame and tear down certain institutions, to give outlet to anger.
An exchange with Senator Warren about Twitter and about Trump violating the terms of service. Why does that matter? Like, why, of all the things, why that?
Ask the whistleblower. Ask members of the United States Congress. Ask the people who are prepared to testify about this president's lawlessness and obstruction of justice. Ask the people and the families in El Paso when that shooter admitted in his manifesto that he was influenced by Donald Trump's tweets. Donald Trump has 65 million followers on Twitter. And we have to take seriously the weaponization of this platform by the president, and the need, therefore, of a private corporation to be held accountable to say he has abused the terms, and it could result literally in a threat to safety of human beings who are participating with the process of justice.
There is not a part of you civically, constitutionally, that is concerned about the precedent of a private company taking the platform away from the President of the United States or some other elected official?
Free speech does not condone or protect threats to the safety of other human beings. And so that is what we are talking about. Like, let's be really clear about what we're talking about, because this can go into some abstract law school debate. But the reality of it is we're talking about Donald Trump weaponizing Twitter in a way that could result in real consequence, including death. And we have to take that seriously.
Do you think he puts people's lives in danger when he targets them in tweets?
Absolutely.
Do you think he knows that?
Does it matter? Then you might as well ask me, do you think he knows that when he sold out the Kurds that they're going to be slaughtered? The fact is he did it. The fact is that he is irresponsible. He is erratic. He is like a 2-year-old with a machine gun. Right? He doesn't understand the power of his words or his actions in the way that they will actually impact and could end other human beings' lives. So whether he understands it or not, look, he's the president of the United States. I don't actually care whether he understands it or not.
And then finally, after all other options had run out, the president and his team incited intimidation and violence, and 5 people were killed and countless others injured. And it could have been worse. Was it really a surprise to hear these thugs chanting that they wanted to kill Vice President Pence? Trump had been lying to his base, telling them that Pence could overturn the election. And it was not until the day before that Pence made clear he had no power to do so. The president all but handed the mob a noose. The ones who committed violence, they're being arrested. But what about those who incited this attempted coup, who remain in our midst? What about those who lied? Will there be any consequences? And what about the President of the United States? Will he be allowed to fly out of Washington on January 19th to spend his days luxuriating on the golf course, spreading more lies through the TV networks that were also part of this treason? What happens to us? What happens to our country if we continue to pretend leaders who played a role in this attempted coup, in this terrorist attack, end up doing just fine with no consequences at all? Will January 6, 2021 be remembered as only the beginning?
We can't afford to cause our friends and allies from Latin America to Europe to Asia to the Middle East to doubt America's leadership